What is a research methodology? Research methodology is basically like a template for doing research. This template is supposed to help you do your research, and it depends on factors like what's the aim of your study, what are you trying to solve with your research. So you have a certain problem and you can choose from these templates, which are entirely optional, and you can choose it just to make it easier for yourself because somebody has already made these decisions for you in the past. So for example, you're thinking of trying to understand a certain problem or something that hasn't really been discussed or described in the literature. You want to ideally understand it in depth. You want to maybe develop a theory for that. You have a template. It's called grounded theory research. So they have their own procedures, they have their own data analysis and data collection preferences and how they do things. So if it just happens to align with what you're trying or hoping to do with in your study, then imagine you want to really understand how it feels to be a certain person going through a certain experience. Let's say how it feels to go through trauma. What is the lived experience of a person going through trauma or traumatic experience, or maybe having lost somebody. Again, you have phenomenology, which is this whole template that specifically addresses that. So basically phenomenology is a methodology for studies that try to understand lived experiences. They have their own preferences, preferred data collection methods, the way they do things, the way they interview people, how many people they usually interview, and this sort of thing. And this is true for all these templates or methodologies. They have their own procedures and generally ways to do things that are supposed to help you. But like I said, and it's very important to understand that they are entirely optional. There is this huge misconception that you have to have this methodology. You have to select from these methodologies. By the way, they are ethnography, case study, narrative research, action research, phenomenology, and grounded theory. Some people also call thematic analysis a methodology, although others don't agree with that, because thematic analysis is basically the way to analyze the data. But the point is, you don't have to choose from these templates. They are there just to make it easier if you need them, just like any other template may be helpful, but only if it happens that your goal is exactly aligned with that template or whatever you have at your disposal. You don't have to choose it. You can also adapt some elements of certain methodologies. You can mix them up. You can adjust them to your study or borrow from some of these methodologies and then borrow some other elements from other methodologies. So they're entirely optional. Like I said, do let me know if you want me to talk about specific methodologies and maybe explain what exactly they are about. So grounded theory, narrative research, and all these things I mentioned. But generally, that's what a methodology is in research.